Well, I'm back. Hello everybody, and we are back with another Nuzlocke. And this time it is in Pokemon Platinum. Of course, as with all these Nuzlocke videos, I have to go through the rule sets. Firstly, for Pokemon faints, it's considered dead. You cannot use it again. You release it, or you put it in your PC box forever. Basically, in a cemetery. Rule number 2. You have to nickname all your Pokemon. For whatever reason. I really don't care about this, but hey, it's part of the rules. Rule number 3. You can only capture the first Pokemon you encounter in each round. If you miss it, if it fails, if it breaks out, if it dies, that's it. No more Pokemon in that round. There are some additional rules I do use, but this time I decided to go a bit lighter on the rules. I can use some potions throughout my playthrough, maybe a maximum of 3 times throughout the entire thing. Also, I can heal between Elite Four battles. Yeah, that's about it. Now, of course, make sure to subscribe to my channel, like the video if you enjoy it, and let's get straight into the game. We encounter very early our rival, which is Barry. And of course, right after, we get to pick our first starter Pokemon.
I'm obviously going Chimchar because there's no fire type Pokemon in this region, or like very minimal.
And immediately after that, Barry challenges us to a battle. I gotta say, the song,
maniac.
not that great.
The song isn't as good as some of the other ones. Team Galactic.
Immediately after that, we meet our antagonist, which is a Weirdo. And we get our Pokedex, along with some Pokeballs, and whatever this was. And we encounter our first Pokemon.
Okay, you're gonna be my HM slave.
Yeah. Anyway. We get demonstrated on how to capture a Pokemon, which we already did. And we did it again.
Well, good enough.
Of course, Shinx is okay, but not the greatest. Anyway, we head to the next city and we encounter a mysterious man and fought a bunch of people in this weird place. Talked to a bunch of clowns that picked up the Pokédex. And of course, we got challenged again by Barry.
You really think you've got something on me? Man, that's stylish.
We beat his ass and we moved on from there. Of course, we encounter our own Starly. I named it Belle from Velociraptor, you know. And we got ourselves a HM and encountered Zubat, which we don't really care, we never use it. And really quickly, I evolved Chimchar into Monferno. And then we headed to the next town, which apparently I need an escort to the gym. Don't ask me why. So I headed to the bushes nearby and caught myself a Machop, which won't be useful anyway, and a Geodude, which won't be useful anyway as well. And headed immediately to the gym and completely crushed it because of Monferno and his fighting type advantage. Immediately after, we get introduced very nicely to the antagonist, which is Team Galactic. Of course, we fought throughout their entire base, and we fought their first commander, which is Mars, and destroyed her, and talked to the mysterious guy again, doesn't matter, and we encounter Shellos.
Amazing! Holy crap!
Incredible. Anyways, we then went into these weird woods where we escorted a lady that kept healing our Pokemon, which was really nice actually. And we ended up in Eterna City getting ready for the next gym, which is the grass gym of Gardenia.
Got it.
Of course, during the fight in the gyms, we evolved our Starly into Staravia. And we fought Gardenia, and because we have Monferno, this was a cakewalk.
Not as good of a song, sorry.
We pick up the badge and we head off to the next place, which we encountered Barry again, escorting us to Team Galactic's leader, which is Cyrus. And of course, we meet our nemesis. But of course, before we talk to her, make sure to subscribe. I put in a lot of effort into my videos and make sure it is the best that it can possibly be for them to be uploaded. Who knows? Maybe it will stop us from meeting a tragic fate later on, the same as Cynthia's. Spoilers. Anyway, keep watching because it's gonna get crazy.
Cynthia,
let's go.
We meet again.
She talks to us about memories, which we don't care. We headed off into the Team Galactic headquarters and completely smashed the entire place in order to beating the commander, which is Commander Nope, Jupiter. I keep getting confused between the planetary. Anyway, she got completely destroyed, as they all do. And we headed out to Mount Coronet, which we found Cyrus again. What is he doing here? Shouldn't care, should I? Anyway, we headed off to Heartgold City and entered the contest hall, which, by the way, we hatched a Togepi, but we don't really care about that. And we headed into the gym to fight, what was her name? French lady. I can't remember what her name was.
What's left of my Pokemon, dude?
Yeah, midway, I decided to take a break, and then I returned with a vengeance.
Bring it, you French idiot. Come on. No thanks. Sound like an idiot. No offense to French. I've learned French. But she sounds like an idiot.
This was such a dumb battle. Such a dumb battle.
Bro, how do you land that, dude? It's like landing sheer cold.
I cannot express how bonkers the calculations of landing in Hypnosis were. Just for reference, I had pressed double team 6 times and Hypnosis landed twice.
I need to do damage calculations on that. That's just... The calculation is 0.6 times 1 minus 71 0.71 equals. The probability of hitting that is like 15%. 17%. How the fuck do you land it twice? I'm actually flabbergasted. I can't believe it. He's a goat. He's the GOAT. He's landed it twice.
This is like landing Sheerpole 4 times. Do you understand how stupid this was? Anyway, the rest of the battle was very easy because we had good answers, but that was insane. I've never had that happen to me in a Pokemon game ever in my life. Anyway, then we encountered Barry, and he challenged us again.
Bastard.
He hasn't learned his lesson.
What the hell is that, dude?
Yeah, that was a big level increase. But nonetheless, we still defeated him.
See what we get here.
He left, and we went and dropped off our Shinx because we sacked it. And to replace him, we got ourselves a Ralts, which we never use. Anyway, we picked up a good rod, which we also never use. And I evolved Shellos into Gastrodon. Huge. We then headed over to Veilstone City, which there was Team Galactic members everywhere. But we did not care about that because we headed straight into the next gym, which is a fighting type gym. Of course, Star Arabia did a phenomenal job. Of course, right after that, we continued the Team Galactic storyline. But we didn't really care much because we headed off straight to the next gym, which is a water type gym. Of course, here things were a bit trickier because we only had one real good answer, but nonetheless we prevailed against Wake. At the same time, we evolved Bell into Staraptor, which was huge. And we ditched Rhydon. Then, after that, I took a while to realize that my clip had not recorded. And so, unfortunately, I do not have the full recording here, so I can only tell you. I evolved Monferno into Infernape. I took him over to the Steel Gym, which was the 6th gym, and completely smashed the entire place apart. I, of course, leveled up all my team a little bit as well, and so we're at this point. Yep. That is the face of horror right there. Anyway, we went to the Iron Island and we encountered this guy, which gave us an egg. We all know what that egg will be later. But we still continued with the storyline of Team Galactic, and this time we faced, well, Commander Saturn. And with our overpowered levels now, we completely demolished him and he could do nothing. Then we went over to help Dawn against Team Galactic's Jupiter, I think, no, Mars. Guys, I'm not good with planets. I'm fine with planets. People naming themselves after planets is like, I don't know, people naming themselves after a rock or something. You know, I mean, that's literally what it is, technically, but that's a topic for another day. Anyway, we went through the snow now to get over to the 7th gym. Well, technically to help out Barry, but with forget about that. But the only thing I cared about is I caught a Swinub, which will evolve into a Mamoswine. Great. Did I even evolve it? I don't think I did. But anyway, we went to the Ice-type gym and completely obliterated it thanks to Infernape. Also, we evolved Swinub into Piloswine. We got the badge and we headed over to help out Barry, which he had already lost. Oh well. We heard the most inspirational speech that has ever existed in humankind. And, well, we decided it wasn't that great, so battle it is, up against Cyrus. I gotta say, his theme is pretty sick for a boss. Of course, after that, we defeated Commander Saturn again. And now we hatched Riolu, and we started leveling him up to become a Lucario. Excellent. We got stopped by Luca because we were heading to that mountain to stop them from summoning Giratina, and we got forced into a battle of which we crushed. Of course, Dialga and Palkia were summoned, and then this happens. We headed over to the world distortion world, sorry. And we made our way through the puzzles and everything. By the way, I just needed to make sure everyone knew that I was in a rush, because I needed to catch a plane here, and I just wanted to get through it. So, sorry for skipping a lot through it, but I was in an urgent emergency and was like recording the last moment to catch a flight, which is actually a funny story. But anyway, we faced off Cyrus and we defeated him and prepared ourselves to fight Giratina. I gotta say, Giratina's theme is not bad. We caught it, and we then evolved Riolu into Lucario. Excellent. We then started heading towards the last gym, and when we got there, we realized it's an electric gym. So, with our 2 ground types, this should be no problem, right? Guess what? You're right, it was not a problem. We take the final badge and we started heading towards the Pokemon League, as we all should. After we got ourselves Surf, we entered the cave that was the Victory Road. And to my absolute pleasure, we managed to get on the first try the best Pokemon in the game right now. I'm sure you can hear me through that chant, but I was very happy. Unfortunately, my voice did not get recorded, so that happened. We went and healed our Pokemon, and then Barry came to stop us before we walked through the league, which we weren't going to anyway. I'll explain in a moment. The boy never learned, did he? After completely crushing him, we started leveling up our Pokemon and we evolved Gabite to Garchomp and walked into the Pokemon League for the first and final time. Our first challenger was Aron, the Bug type master. Of course, the best way to defeat him is by getting rid of Yanmega immediately and taking out everyone else slowly. After defeating that guy, we headed up against Bertha, which is the ground type specialist. Well, water and grass is definitely my best answer here, so that's what we led off. Gastrodon was a huge help in that fight, but unfortunately we had to sack it. And we needed it right now up against the fire type Link. But it was all good. Unfortunately we had to also sack Staraptor. But this is fine because we had all the answers we needed for our next battle. Lucario absolutely stomped on this. And of course the final battle is against Cynthia. Cynthia is notorious for how good she is. And I believe more people know her than pretty much any other champion that has ever existed and will ever frankly exist. She is infamous for very good reasons. little bit of luck dodging that Dragon Rush, and Garchomp pretty much just being thrown straight into Cynthia's face, we won without any resistance. And of course I had to do this because, frankly, I was in a rush. I had no patience and I just needed to get her out off my screen. So that is all for today. Thank you all for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and let me know, how did your Nuzlocke in Pokemon Platinum go? And until next time, because next is Pokemon Black and White. So, see you then.